Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. So if you do consider subscribe as always, and if you do consider drop your like on the current video. So we know big game coming up this weekend, this Sunday, Manchester United, Liverpool, as I currently said, we're on currently Wednesday now, so the preview for that game will be coming up later on the week. So if you do consider join me for that, but I'm full of confidence, going into this game. I do, think Manchester United are going to win this game on Sunday, considering that we know that Liverpool are playing really well, even though they did drop points yesterday against Bayern Munich, because they currently drew 0-0, did Liverpool yesterday in the Champions League. But obviously we know, obviously we're going for the top four, from Man United point of view. Obviously we know Liverpool are trying to challenge Manchester City for the league as well, and Liverpool do have this game in hand, so if they do win, they do go back top, because obviously Manchester City, feature Chelsea in the Carabao Cup final this Sunday. As we currently speaking, City at the moment are drawing 2-2 with Schalke in the Champions League as well. But Liverpool obviously, drew with Bayern Munich, as I currently said. They've got some injury concerns going into the game. I think Dejan Lovren's out, as Jurgen Klopp's confirmed. Virgil van Dijk, I think, was suspended against Bayern Munich, but he's set to return on Sunday as well, Virgil van Dijk. I think they've got Oxlade-Chamberlain out through injury as well. They've also got Joe Gomez out as well. But we know it's not going to be an easy game, as I could have said, but we've mainly, got a really good record against Liverpool, especially at Old Trafford. We've won 7 of our last 9 league home games against Liverpool, and Liverpool haven't beaten us at Old Trafford in the league since 2014, as we all currently know. So this is what, 5 years ago now, or something like that. The last time, they beat us at Old Trafford in the league. Of course, they haven't done the league double over us, since 2014 as well. But as I did currently say, it's going to be a very good game. As I said, it's the biggest game in English football, as we all know, Manchester United and Liverpool, because they are the two most successful clubs historically in English football. Liverpool currently on 18 titles, my club Manchester United on 20. Of course, Liverpool have never won the league, as we all currently know. Well, they've never won the Premier League since they got founded back in 1993, I think it was. Overall, they haven't won it for 28 years, so that's basically nearly 3 decades, as I currently said. But as I did currently say in relation to Jurgen Klopp, he doesn't have that, that winning philosophy. He doesn't have that pedigree, in terms of winning any silverware, really, because since he started as Liverpool manager, he hasn't won out as silverware in terms of silverware. When he managed Borussia Dortmund, I do think he won a couple of titles with Borussia Dortmund, did Jurgen Klopp. But since he's been Liverpool manager, which has been a couple of years now, he currently hasn't won out. Liverpool, of course, haven't won a major honour since 2006. So the last time they did win a major honour was back in 2006. So that's now 13 years. I think Liverpool haven't won a major honour, as I could have said. But obviously, from their point of view, their objective this season, Liverpool's, is to obviously win the league. Because if Liverpool don't win the league this season, if they don't do what in the Champions League, there could be possibility that Jurgen Klopp could get currently sacked. But they're still playing really well. I hate to say it, but they really are. They've only lost 1 game this season. They have won 20, they've drawn 5, and they've lost 1 so far at 26 games. Defensively, they're looking very good indeed this season as well. They've only conceded 15 goals in the league this season. They have conceded 15. They have They have scored 59. They have conceded 15 of Liverpool. As I currently said, but obviously, from my point of view as a Manchester United fan, it is important that we do win this game, as I currently said, because obviously we do want to get that top 4 this season, and obviously get Champions League for next season, as I currently said. But Liverpool, of course, have invested, as I said, in the last couple of seasons. They have got a really good team. They are playing good attacking football this season. They've got a good attacking tree with Salah, for me, the best player in the Premier League. They've got Mane, they've got Firmino. They addressed the defensive deficiencies with the signing of Virgil van Dijk, was it last January of last year. They paid £75 million for him as well, so he is the most expensive defender in world football at this moment. Is Virgil van Dijk, and I think he's addressed their defensive deficiencies, very well. As Virgil van Dijk, they've got Wan-Yanam, they've got Naby Keita, so they've got Sturridge in there as well. So they haven't got a bad squad, as I said. But as I did say, my team, Manchester United, we've basically got the quality. As I currently said, we have got the quality in the team, to overtake Liverpool. As I currently said, easy, just get. So as I did currently know, we know that we did lose to them earlier on in the season, by 3 goals to 1. That was a shame, and that was obviously Jose Mourinho's last game as Manchester United manager. In this fixture last season at Old Trafford, we did beat them, I think, was it by 2 goals to 1. Rashford did score twice as well, and last season at Anfield, it was currently 0-0. But, under Louis van Gaal, we beat Liverpool 4 times. There was one of the games when Anthony Martial, scored on his debut. We beat them 3-0 in one game under Van Gaal. We beat them 1-0 at Anfield under Louis van Gaal. We beat them, 2-1 at Anfield as well, when Matter scored twice as well. So mainly we've got a really, really good record against Liverpool. And Liverpool seldom win at Old Trafford, especially in recent seasons, as I currently said, because I did say the last time they won at Old Trafford in the league was back when we currently had David Moyes, and we did beat Liverpool under David Moyes, because we beat that was in that League Cup game. I think Javi Hernandez has scored, and that was currently 1-0, as I currently said. We didn't spend out in the January transfer window, which was a shame, as we all currently know. But obviously we know that there's investment needed in the squad still, as we all currently know. But obviously we've got the summer, to plan that out. Reports have been saying that reportedly we're going to get around £200 million kit here to spend in the summer. I think we're still uncertain at the moment who's going to be the next Manchester United manager. But I think based on Solskjaer's progression, so far, he's uplifted, he's changed the atmosphere at Manchester United. Based on his progression so far, I think he's the number one favourite to get the job at Manchester United on a full-time basis, as I currently said. But this is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer versus Jurgen Klopp, as I said. Solskjaer's actually more proven in terms of silverware mainly than Jurgen Klopp, because Jurgen Klopp only won a couple of titles with Dortmund, but Solskjaer hasn't won much as a manager. But he flourished under Alex Ferguson for 11 years, as a player. So mainly, he had a great pedigree in terms of winning silverware, and that mainly as a player, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he flourished fantastically well under Alex Ferguson, for 11 years. And he watched some of this, Manchester United team at this day and age now, watch some of them grow and develop in the reserve team. Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as we all know, and obviously he won a couple of titles, when he was managing the reserve team. Didn't do so good at Cardiff, and he had 2 spells as manager with Mold. Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he did end up winning, 2 Norwegian titles, and he played with Mold, throughout his playing career, before he actually came to Manchester United as well. Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but I think he's doing a terrific job as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He always has a game plan set out as well, Solskjaer. I think in this Liverpool game he's going to go with a similar lineup as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to as he did do on Monday night against Chelsea in the FA Cup. As I currently said, it's likely that Bailly will be back into contention, because Bailly didn't play against Chelsea. De Gea will be back to contention as well, because he didn't play against Chelsea as well, because against Chelsea he played Smalling alongside Lindelof, and he obviously put Sergio Romero in net as well. But Solskjaer's done very, very well since he's come in. We've won 11 out of 13 in all competitions. We've scored 30 goals in the process. 30 goals in the process. We've won 8 in the league. We've won 7 away from home in all competitions, as I currently said as well. We're in the top 4 now, for the first time since the opening day of the season. Solskjaer's done a terrific job. There's been a massive turnaround since he's come in, because when when Solskjaer first came in, which was a month or so ago, a couple of months ago, Manchester United were 11 points behind top 4, of course, and obviously everyone was ruling us out. And as I did say, there's a few teams, going for that top 4, but I do think Solskjaer is going to go with a similar lineup against Liverpool, so as he did do on Monday night. But I think Bailly will be coming back into the team. Obviously, De Gea will be coming back into the team as well. So he did rest a couple of players, for the big game on Sunday. Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But as I said, very, very good performance, from Manchester United against Chelsea. Very, very good performance indeed. Good to see Ander Herrera getting his name on the score sheet. As I said, good to see Pogba getting an assist and also getting the goal as well. It was good. It was 2 fantastic first half headers, that won us that game. A great assist from Paul Pogba, lovely way at the pass, and really, really good header from Ander Herrera, as I currently said. Really, really good second goal as well. Lovely, assist from Marcus Rashford, finding Pogba in the middle, and it was a great header from Pogba. You can see, since Solskjaer's coming, you can see, since he's took the veins, you can see the vast improvement in the squad, the structure of the teams, right, the cohesion of the teams, right, the fluidities in that attack. Pogba has been one of the most influential players, since Solskjaer's coming. I think he's getting the freedom to express himself. His time of his runs are good. He's getting breaks box to box are looking very, very good indeed as well. From Paul Pogba. So his performances are really, really improving. He's giving good service, to the front men, and he's scoring and providing. As I said, and he's one of the best players in world football. Is Paul Pogba one of the best players in world football when he's playing in this kind of vein? As I said, so I've been very, very impressed with him indeed. Since Solskjaer's come in. But as I did say, I've been impressed with the majority of the team, because you can see the improvements defensively. We've improved, especially away from home. So defensively, we've got defenders that are, willing, to play out from the back. Full-backs are getting higher up the pitch as well, which is very, very good. Now we've got good ball-playing midfielders as well. And I've also, I thought in the Chelsea game, I thought Lukaku, I thought he chased the channels very, very well, even though Lukaku, as I did currently say, wasn't the best player on the pitch, but I thought he was chasing them channels well, Lukaku, so he didn't have a bad game against Chelsea. Herrera was very, very good against Chelsea. He looked very, very good alongside Pogba, fantastically well in that midfield. Herrera pulled the strings off very, very well in the midfield as well. And I hope somewhere along the line, Manchester United can agree a new contract, as reports have been emerging out of the press today. Reportedly, he's set to commit his future with Man United is under Herrera, and reportedly he's set to sign a new 3-year deal with Man United worth around £100,000 a week. So obviously we are going to give him a wage increase as well. But I think his progression's been very, very good. Since he's been in United play, because this is his 5th season. But I think since Solskjaer's come, he's playing a bigger part in the team. He's playing more regularly from the start. He's pulling the strings off well in the midfield. He's good at breaking up the play as well, and now he's starting to dictate the play a little bit. He's showing that determination to get forward more. His passing's improved, so based on his performances, he deserves this new contract. Does Ander Herrera as well. And I do have confidence that Manchester United now can go on and win the FA Cup. Wolves in the quarter-final, as I already give you an update on. But as I did currently say on Monday, I thought, I think who else played well. I thought Smalling played very, very well, even though that was only his second start under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because only just recently recovered from injury, Chris Smalling, as I currently said, but that was only his second start under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I thought he put a good defensive display out. I thought Luke Shaw, that left back, who's obviously our first choice left back. I know he's known for injuries because he's an injury prone player, but I thought Luke Shaw, played very, very well. I thought defensively he put a good performance out as well, and showing that determination that I can play out from that full back position, and get more involved and get gallop forward, which was very, very good to see as well. Obviously in the first half, there was chances in the first half. I thought, Romero had to make a couple of saves. Chelsea started going into the game a little bit. Gonzalo Higuain started making some decent runs, exploiting space. As I currently said, a couple of times Eden Hazard looked dangerous from that left-hand side, as I said, but mainly throughout the game, we kept Chelsea at bay, and it was a masterclass performance for Manchester United, as I currently said. But we looked more sharper, looked aggressive, looked distinctive in our play, very, very precise on the ball. So we're demonstrating that we can keep the ball well and pass the ball, as I currently said. But, this team now is playing together as a unit, as I currently said, and every player now is putting a shift in, as I said, because his formation's right, Solskjaer, his tactics are right, as I currently said. But it was a great, great victory, and that was our first win at Stamford Bridge, since 2012, because we know in recent years, we've had a really, really bad record at Chelsea. But Solskjaer says, he hopes that Manchester United, can get to the final of the FA Cup. Obviously, that's our only chance of silverware this season, as I currently said. But as I did say, if we can get some new additions into the club in the summer, I think definitely, we can potentially be title contenders for the new season. We still are aware that we do need a strong central defender. We need someone on that right-hand side. Probably need a centre defensive midfielder as well that's fast and tenacious, because Matic, I think he's improved under Solskjaer. I think he's getting forward more, his distribution's improved, and he's looking more effective, but he's aging up and he's slow, and I've got strong reservations about him. But we do need a centre defensive mid that's probably fast and tenacious. The left-hand side's okay. The left-hand side doesn't need addressing, because that's where the majority of the attack is coming from, the left-hand side, as I said. But I probably still think, Manchester United, of course, need a right winner. But as I did say, we're still looking to hire a director of football to come in as well. Obviously, we do expect departures as well in the summer. And, a lot of people are saying it's the experienced players, that are causing us the problems, as I said. So I do expect, some experienced players, to leave in the summer, as I said. But Solskjaer should get the job on a full-time basis. Obviously, Manchester United, of course, obviously, if we do get him on a full-time basis, we'll obviously have to pay a fee of around, £7-8 million, to mould. And that's very, very cheap, to be quite honest, £7-8 million, because obviously we paid 1.8 million to 1.8 million, to mould, to obviously, getting on a temporary basis. And so far, his progression's been very, very good. And obviously, as reports were explaining, saying that reportedly currently got revealed that the board had made a decision saying that Solskjaer will be named Manchester United manager on a full-time basis, because it came out the other week in the press. And obviously from Ed Woodward's point of view and from the Manchester United's board perspective, they obviously feel as though Solskjaer can take this team forward, he can elevate this team to that higher level and get us up there, competing for silverware and get us back winning, silverware on a regular basis, like we did do under Alex Ferguson for 27 years, as I currently said. But as I did currently say, we know that there's obviously, been a lot of talks about Mauricio Pochettino, as we all currently know, because we know for a long time, there's been a narrative going on about about it that obviously we know that Ed Woodward's number one for quite a while has been Mauricio Pochettino, but I think he's a very, very good manager, as I do keep mentioning to you guys, in relation, to Mauricio Pochettino, but he hasn't got that winning philosophy, in terms of winning any silverware, because he hasn't won any silverware as manager, Mauricio Pochettino, but I think and obviously, if Man United were to recommend him in, he'd cost around 35 million pounds anywhere, and obviously we've got Solskjaer who's doing a good job, and I think he's got that winning philosophy now at Manchester United, and obviously he's a much cheaper alternative than Mauricio Pochettino, and I don't think Mauricio Pochettino will leave Tottenham anywhere. I think he's happy at Tottenham. I think he's fully committed to Tottenham. Is Mauricio Pochettino. Of course, he signed a 5-year deal last summer as well. Did Pochettino with Tottenham, but I think maybe Pochettino feels as though that somewhere along the line, if he maybe gets some signings into that Tottenham team in the summer, he can start, winning silverware, as Tottenham manager, Mauricio Pochettino. But considering they're doing very, very well at Tottenham, considering that they've got Kane out, they've got Dele Alli out as well. But this is Pochettino's 5th season with Tottenham, and they've obviously got a bad transfer policy since Pochettino's been recommended in, because they've only spent £50 million since 2014 of Tottenham, as we all currently know. But he has been managing since 2009. Pochettino, he also got them to the last 16 of the Champions League last season. Looking likely he's progressed them to the looking likely, I think he has progressed. Yeah, he's progressed them to the quarterfinal of the Champions League this season, because obviously they beat Dortmund in the first leg 3-0. So it's looking likely they're going to be in the quarterfinals of the Champions League as well. Of course, he's obviously got them second place finishes, third place finishes as well, and he's good at growing and developing young players. He's Pochettino. Obviously, in his first season with Tottenham, he finished 5th, as I currently said. But obviously, he had a good record when he was at Southampton, because he got 8th place, when he was at Southampton as well. But he only had a short tenure with Southampton. Did Mauricio Pochettino. Actually, as a player, as we all currently know, he actually played for Newell Old Boys, PSG, Bordeaux, and Espanyol as well. He also managed Espanyol, did Mauricio Pochettino. Did he manage Espanyol for a year or two? I can't remember. But he has been in management since 2009. But I think he's happy at Tottenham anyway. Of course, they're still awaiting the new stadium, but I don't think there's any intentions of leaving Tottenham anyway. So, it'd be ideal, keep Solskjaer in the job on a full-time basis, as I currently said. But as I did say, it's going to be a very, very big game on Sunday, as we all currently know. It's always the biggest game of the season. United, Liverpool, the two most successful clubs in English football, as we all know, historically, as I said. So if we can win this game on Sunday, Liverpool's, title dreams, could well be over indeed. But Liverpool do have the opportunity from their perspective, to go back top, because City play Chelsea in the Carabao Cup final on Sunday. I think just as we speak about City, they have got now turned it around. I think they are winning now 3 goals to 2 against Schalke. As I currently said. But yeah, Solskjaer, well, more things will update on a bit of the team who's coming maybe Thursday or Friday. But as I did say, I think it's going to be a similar lineup. He's going to go with, as I currently said, he'll probably, bring Bay back into the team. As I said, De Gea, who'll probably, be back in the team as well. Probably may start Sanchez on that left-hand side. Obviously, it's confirmed that obviously Anthony Martial and, of course, Jesse Lingard are still currently injured. And, to be quite fair, I've been very, very impressed, with Anthony Martial's progression as a United player. Of course, he's been here since 2015. Obviously, what the point we bought him on is, wasn't he the most expensive teenager, Martial? I think it was initial £36 million, but it did say it could rise up to around 57 million or something like that. But yeah, since he's been United player, his progression's been very, very good. But especially since Solskjaer's come in, his performance, he's rejuvenated his form even more as Anthony Martial. I think he's very, very good on that left. He creates that width very, very well, and it's a shame he's injured, Anthony Martial. And obviously, same with Lingard, as I currently said, very, very young in his generation. So is Anthony Martial, very, very young in his generation. Still got a lot of years ahead of them to grow, develop, and flourish. And Lingard's progression's been very, very good as a Manchester United player. But as it has confirmed, I don't think they'll be featuring against Liverpool, because they've both got muscular problems. Martial's got a groin injury. Lingard's got a hamstring injury as well. And Solskjaer did confirm that they're going to be out, for 2 to 3 weeks, as he did currently say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So obviously, we know he rotated that attacking line, against Chelsea. And as now Martial and Lingard are injured, probably that may give chance, for Juan Mata to get another chance in the team. Sanchez, maybe might get an opportunity from the start against Liverpool as well. Even though mainly that we know basically Solskjaer's been mainly going with the attacking trio of Martial on the left, Rashford centrally, and Lingard on the right. But obviously that's going to be a change of scenery now. At the moment, he's going to rotate obviously, and he's going to bring some fringe players in there obviously, because obviously Martial and Jesse Lingard are injured. Jesse Lingard injured. Maybe Lukaku may got more opportunities, now from the start. Romelu Lukaku, even though we know that obviously Romelu Lukaku is lost his place in the starting 11, as we all currently know. Obviously, we know mainly that Marcus Rashford has obviously, been first choice mainly over Romelu Lukaku. As I did say, Rashford's younger than Lukaku. Obviously, Rashford's a much better player than Lukaku. Lukaku's got pace. He can, Rashford's a lot younger than Lukaku. Rashford's got pace. He can press high up the pitch, and what Rashford can basically, offer up front, Lukaku, cannot currently do this. But Rashford, areas of his game, is adapted, fantastically well, and I think he's always been a very, very good player. Obviously, being a United player since the age of 7, so he's progressing up the ranks fantastically well. He's been since he's broken the senior squad since 2016. His performances have been unbelievable. Marcus Rashford, as I said, still only 21, or is he 22 now? If he's not 22, he's nearly 22. Marcus Rashford. I hope somewhere along the line, we can agree a new long-term contract. We are hopeful that we can, sort this out by the end of the season. His current deal does end in 2020, does Marcus Rashford, as we all currently know as well. But hopefully, Manchester United, of course, have been in talks of getting him a new contract, a new long-term contract, as we all know, and we are willing to more than currently double his wages. I think he's on about £60,000 a week, is he, at the moment, Marcus Rashford. But he has been playing a key role under Solskjaer. I think his goal-scoring form has been better. I think his finishing's improved as well. So he's proven now he's an efficient finisher because his finishing's really improved. Marcus Rashford, as I said, but mainly Rashford has been first choice over Lukaku. But now due to this Martial and Lingard injury, Lukaku, could maybe get a bit more of an opportunity, as I currently said. But there again, Rashford can play out wide, so he may even put Rashford out wide against Liverpool. But we'll see what happens anywhere, as I currently said. But in relation, as I did currently say in relation to Lukaku, as I did update you the other week, there has been rumours going on about Romelu Lukaku, as we all know. He might not leave in the summer. Lukaku might not leave Manchester United in the summer. But obviously, a lot of United fans have got strong reservations about him because we know mainly, as I did say, he hasn't really been first choice under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Lukaku, but a lot of United fans have got a lot of strong reservations about him. His first touch concerns me. He's very, very slow indeed, as we all currently know. Still got a good pedigree in the Premier League, still a proven goal scorer in the Premier League, because he's played in the Premier League a long time now, Romelu Lukaku, and he scored 27 goals in all competitions in his first season, for Manchester United, when he first came. Obviously, as well as got a good friendship, with Paul Pogba as well. Romelu Lukaku, I think when he first came, I think he's still got a good friendship, with Paul Pogba as Romelu Lukaku. But the reports emerging from the press the other week, it may not happen. But as I did update you, it did say Man United were looking to sanction Romelu Lukaku off this summer. Man United were preparing to cash in for Lukaku this summer. As I did say, if we do, I don't think we'll recoup the £75 million, where we initially paid for Romelu Lukaku. But there were talks going on saying that Man United reported looking to cash in for him in the summer in order for us to either land Juventus' Paulo Dybala or Icardi's or Inter Milan's Icardi, as I currently said. So it basically said the Italian press did report saying that Man United had reportedly been in negotiations with both Juventus and Inter Milan over a potential Romelu Lukaku swap deal. So I'll sound more specific, meaning Man United were willing to offer Romelu Lukaku as part of a deal of us getting Dybala from Juventus or Icardi from Inter Milan. So there was a lot of rumours going on about that the other day. I updated you on. A few other, fans, came on, started talking about it as well. But as I did say, in relation, that would be great for us. Lukaku did indicate, if he was to leave, he'd indicate that he would prefer the move to Juventus, because we heard the narrative about this sometime last year that, Juventus had showed an interest in Romelu Lukaku. As I currently said, but I think if Man United are preparing to sell him in the summer, then I think he's happy with this Romelu Lukaku. And of course, when Martial and Lingard come back from these injuries, and obviously Rashford's first choice over him, and if Solskjaer, does get the job permanently, then his days are basically numbered at Old Trafford anyway. So he'll obviously want to go to a team where he's going to get first team footballer Romelu Lukaku, as I currently said, and maybe Juventus, could offer him that, as I said. Inter Milan have obviously, identified him as a good replacement, for Icardi as well. But out of Paulo Dybala and Icardi. I highly rate both of them, to be quite honest with you. Icardi's just turned 26 years of age. Obviously, Dybala's 25, but, Dybala and Icardi are the biggest names in Italian football. And, of course, they are both Argentinian as well. They are both proven prolific goal scorers. They've both got a lot of tenacity about the play as well. And if Dybala or Icardi were to possibly come to Old Trafford in the summer, one of them, it's obviously only going to be one of them if Lukaku leaves, then I think one of them would be a great addition, to the Manchester United team. As I said, still quite young. I think, they'd look good, if we put him in the mix alongside Rashford, Martial and Jesse Lingard and all that, I think they'd look very, very good because obviously they have proven themselves fantastically well in Italian football of Dybala and Icardi. Of course, in relation to Icardi, we know Icardi and Dybala, of course, are both rate valued at around £100 million, as we all currently know. But in relation to Icardi, he's been at Inter Milan a number of years now. He's been at Inter Milan since 2013. This is 6th season now with Inter Milan. Is Icardi's, as we all currently know. He's currently Inter Milan's 9th highest top goal scorer of all time. Is Icardi, as we all know. He has scored over 100 odd goals, since he's been there. He has scored over 100 odd goals since he's been there, but he's rated at around 100 odd million because he's got a release clause of around 100. His release clause is around 100 million pounds. Is Icardi's, and obviously, I think he's out of favour now in Inter Milan because obviously he's just recently lost the captain's armband. Currently, Inter Milan are becoming frustrated with him, heavily frustrated with Icardi. As I currently said, there were reports back in January that actually Chelsea had showed an interest in him as well. But he is a well-proven, prolific goal scorer. His ex-clubs, he had one impressive season with Sampdoria. That's where he began his senior career. He graduated as a youngster where he actually began his youth career was actually Barcelona. Icardi's as well. So he has got a pretty good Wikipedia page in terms of goals, and he's got a really, really good pedigree in that aspect as well as Icardi. In relation to Dybala, he's a very, very good player indeed. Again, good pedigree in terms of scoring goals, proven prolific goal scorer. He's been at Juventus quite a few years now, Paulo Dybala. Reportedly, he's been out of favour this season. Paulo Dybala's a Juventus player, so he's really struggled, to get game time this season as a Juventus player. But reportedly, did say Man United have indicated that they would be interested in signing one of them players, and we are willing to offer Lukaku in exchange, for us to get Dybala or Icardi, as I currently said. But there were rumours going on about that, the other week. It may not happen, Man United may not sell Lukaku in the summer, but I'm just giving you, what the press were, discussing about. As I said. But we know that obviously, there's been a few targets mentioned, who Manchester United, of course, could go for in the summer. We know obviously that's still sprouting around in the press. We know that, Jadon Sancho, we still know that there's been talks of Jadon Sancho going in the press. The only chance I think Manchester United have got of signing Jadon Sancho is it's obviously if we get top 4 this season and secure Champions League qualification for next season. So reportedly, this Jadon Sancho says he'll only agree to join Manchester United if Manchester United, of course, if we obviously, of course, get top 4 this season and get Champions League for next season as well. Borussia Dortmund probably know how much of a central player he is to them, and they probably think he's fully committed to Borussia Dortmund. But of course, if Man United were willing to offer around 90 or 100 million pounds for him in the summer, that would convince probably Borussia Dortmund, to sanction him off because he's only 18 years of age, and that's staggering amounts of money, for a young 18-year-old like that. But again, it would be ideal for us, to get some young players, that could grow and develop and flourish under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I currently said, because we have got young players in their generation, like Lingard, Martial and Rashford, who are absolutely fantastic indeed. We've got that Diego Dalot as well, who's young. So it would be ideal if we could get maybe 1 or 2 more young players in the team. As I said, that I've got years ahead of them, to grow and develop under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because we have got quite a lot of experience. We've got quite a few experienced players, or should I say quite a lot of experienced players in our team. But Jadon Sancho, as I said, he's mainly a winger, only 18 years of age, of course. He's been at Borussia Dortmund a couple of years, but since he's broken into the first team with Borussia Dortmund, his performances have been very, very impressive indeed, and he does show that ability to attack, play balls, create and score goals, which he has definitely shown, especially this season. Obviously broke into the England senior team last season as well, so he's English as well, which is very, very good indeed. And of course, he's had experience of playing in the Premier League in the past as well. Jadon Sancho, because he had a couple of years with Manchester City. Of course, City couldn't assure him, or guarantee him, first team football. So this is the majority. This is the main reason why he left Manchester City, and of course, joined Borussia Dortmund. But he had a couple of years with Manchester City in their youth academy. He obviously as well began his youth career with Watford. Where he spent a number of years with Watford as well. Jadon Sancho. But as I did say, if Manchester United can come to an agreement to get him in the summer, it did say City would reportedly would receive 15% of the transfer fee, as what it did currently explain. Because obviously, I think City have obviously got a 15% sell-on clause or something like that. They've obviously got a buyback option on the player as well, because obviously they inserted a buyback clause in his current contract as well. Jadon Sancho's, he has got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. He won the Bundesliga Player of the Month, as well, based on his fantastic performances. But he is a very, very good young, talented player indeed. But I think Manchester United are considering going for him in the summer as well, Jadon Sancho. So there's been a lot of talks going on about Sancho in the last couple of weeks as well. I want to keep you up to date on. But we know there's other names being mentioned as well. We know that Man United are keeping tracks on that young Benfica youngster Felix as well. Again, very, very good player. This Felix, 19 years of age, and since he's broken into the Benfica first team, his performances have been very, very good indeed of this Felix. Reportedly, a few teams have expressed their interest in him. As I currently said, but Manchester United have instructed scouts, to keep a close eye on him. So Man United scouts, have been watching him and monitoring him on a regular basis, because his performances have reportedly been impressive. He would cost a staggering amounts of money to get him in the summer. Reportedly, his buyout clause is around 105 million pounds. Mainly a winger, this player, but this Felix, can't pronounce his first name, but I think he can play in the midfield. He can play up front as well, so he's versatile, this player as well. Do you think he'd look good in the mix in our front line, if it was, to get Felix in the summer? But I think Jadon Sancho is our main priority target, to address that right hand side, as I said. And I think he'd fit the Manchester United agenda very, very well, because he obviously knows about the Premier League a bit, because obviously he had a couple of years with Manchester City as well. But there has been talks about that young Felix, and it did say Liverpool had a £61 million bid turned down for him back in January, as I said. It did say Liverpool had a £61 million bid turned down for him back in January, as I said. As I said, but Jadon Sancho, as I did say, going back to what I said about Jadon Sancho, if Borussia Dortmund were to sell him for £100 million in the summer, Borussia Dortmund know how much of a central player he is, of course. Borussia Dortmund only paid, £7-8 million for him anyway, from Manchester City. So financially, they'd make a huge profit. They'd make a 93 odd million pound profit on the player. But it would, obviously, but they're probably not bothered about that, Dortmund. They know how much of an essential player he is, as I said. But as I did currently say, Borussia Dortmund have done business with their players, as we all know, especially the young players. Christian Pulisic, they sold him £58 million to Chelsea. He's obviously loaned back to Dortmund at the moment. Obviously, he's going to be officially a Chelsea player in the new season. They sold Ousmane Dembele. He's only 21, 22, to Barcelona for around £106 million. He's on that list of the most expensive players as well. Ousmane Dembele did sell Aubameyang to Arsenal as well, don't forget, did Borussia Dortmund. But yeah, there's been talks about it going on in the media that Man United, reportedly, they've got to meet this target. We've got to qualify for Champions League for next season, obviously get the top four to get that Champions League qualification for next season, for us to have any chance of getting Jadon Sancho, because a young player that wants to be, playing football first team, playing first team football week in, week out, of course, and of course wants to be playing in Champions League football. He wants to be playing to that higher level, does this young star as well. But if we're willing to offer 100 million in the summer, we have got the financial power to meet his, that valuation. I think he'll probably come to Old Trafford, where will this Jadon Sancho, as I currently said. But there's other targets that have been mentioned. We know that obviously the main priority target for the summer is obviously Napoli's Koulibaly. The last time I read reports going on in relation to Koulibaly, it did actually say that reportedly he he's fully committed to Napoli. He's happy at Napoli. His Koulibaly is looking, to get better and get better and better and better, and improve. But he did admit, that he's happy that he's attracting interest, from teams, and he's happy that teams are currently following him, Koulibaly, as I said. But as I did currently say, he's still got a contract with Napoli till 2023, as we all currently know. But we need someone in our defensive line, to address our defensive deficiencies. As I said, I think Victor Lindelof's blend and Bay, a very, very good centre-back partnership. I think they're blending in very, very well together. Even though Bay's been out of the team this season, I still think he's got great potential, and they're showing that they've got that determination, to play out from the back, as I said. And Victor Lindelof's really, really improved this season. I've been really, really impressed with his performances. He struggled at the start of the season, did Victor Lindelof, as I said, but I think his performances have really, really improved this season. So we do need an experienced centre back alongside Lindelof and Eric Bay, as I currently said. But I think Koulibaly would be fantastic indeed. Reports have been saying that Man United are willing to pay the £90 million. That Napoli would demand that they would want in the summer. As I said, so potentially we can make him the most expensive defender in the world, Koulibaly, in the summer. But as I did say, Napoli only paid £7 million from Genk last year. Back in December on Boxing Day, he did suffer racial abuse, and at that moment in time, he did say, he was very, very unhappy with Napoli, Koulibaly. But as I did say, he was very, very unhappy with Napoli, but as I did currently say, still got a contract with Napoli till 2023. Versatility, very, very good indeed as well, Koulibaly's, but mainly he's one of the best players in the world in his current position in Liverpool, which is that centre-back position. But as I did currently say, Manchester United were obviously inquired about it. We had negotiations in January. We linked to him last summer. In the process, Manchester United couldn't convince Napoli to sell him in January. We had 3 bids, obviously, turned down for the player. The recent one was a staggering £95 million, as I currently said. But I still think we've identified him as our major priority target for the summer. But now he may feel as though that he's happy at Napoli. So our pursuit could come to a conclusion of getting Koulibaly in the summer now. But, we've looked at other defenders as well who we could potentially go for. We know that Milan Skriniar has also been mentioned as well. He could be a possible summer target as well. Again, 23, he's 4 years younger than Koulibaly's Milan Skriniar. He's only 23 years of age, so he's nowhere near on the same level or same calibre as Koulibaly, but he's only 23. I think Inter Milan have been keen on giving him a contract renewal as well, Milan Skriniar. But yeah, only very, very young. Still rated, at around £75 million, as reports did explain back in January. He's obviously Slovakian as well. Inter Milan, I think, paid £20 million for him from San Pandora, so we know that there's been talks of him. It would be ideal to maybe get a young centre-back in, if we don't, get Koulibaly. Koulibaly's still kind of young. He's 27. As I said, we still get a lot of years out of him, if he was to come, as I currently said. But Eddie Militao has been spoken about. There's been reports going on that Real Madrid have actually been interested in Eddie Militao as well. Again, I think he's 20 or is he 21 years of age, but I know he's very, very young in his prime, so he really hasn't got that experience yet of being a centre-back, Eddie Militao, but he can play in 3 positions. He can play as a centre-back, defensive mid. I think he's mainly a right-back, is Eddie Militao as well, but he can play in them positions, as I said. He's got a 40-odd million release clause. He's got 4 years left on his contract as Eddie Militao as well. But I think Real Madrid, I think they're monster favourites now to go on and sign Eddie Militao in the summer, because Real Madrid have actually been interested in that Eddie Militao. But we know also too that other defenders have been mentioned in the process as well. But Koulibaly would definitely fit the Manchester United agenda well. He'd be a great leader in our back line if he did come in. But as I did currently say, we'll just see what happens when the summer comes, as I currently said. But as I did currently say, I do expect departures in the summer. As I currently said, I definitely do expect departures in the summer, as I've already negotiated with you. We've got obviously experienced players in that team. As I did say in relation to Antonio Valencia and Rojo and all that, and Darmian, these are players I do expect to leave Manchester United in the summer. Maybe Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, could leave in the summer as well, because Phil Jones and Chris Smalling have been one of the longest servants at Manchester United. Obviously, Antonio Valencia has been one of the longest servants at Manchester United, as I currently said. But I do expect maybe Darmian to leave in the summer, Rojo to leave in the summer, Valencia to leave in the summer. But in relation to Valencia, we know how much of a central player he has been for Manchester United. Antonio Valencia, of course, he's been here since 2009, as we all currently know, as Valencia. He's made over 300 odd appearances. He's obviously won everything in terms of silverware in England with Manchester United. But we know mainly he's lost his place in the team, and obviously anywhere Ashley Young's first choice right back, and obviously he's just suffered another injury anywhere. there as Antonio Valencia. It's just saying that West Ham are monitoring an interest in him. West Ham are obviously going to see him as a potential replacement for Pablo Zabaleta. Pablo Zabaleta, Antonio Valencia as Pablo Zabaleta. I think Watford have also indicated that they've been interested in him as well, Antonio Valencia. So I do see him leaving in the summer because there was speculation of him, of course, leaving in January as well, Antonio Valencia. So I do see him leaving in the summer. In relation to Ashley Young, as I currently have said with him, he's been one of the longest serving players at Manchester United. Obviously, just recently signed him a new 1-year extension, but Ashley Young's too old now, as we all know. Valencia's 33, Ashley Young's 33, as I currently said. So we probably do need someone on the right hand side. But yeah, again, we have got Diego Dalot who can play out that right back position. But Diego Dalot really, he's inexperienced at the moment. He really hasn't got that experience like Young and Valencia. So maybe we do need another right back in as an option, backup option, for Diego Dalot. Young could still possibly leave in the summer. It doesn't mean, he's just signed a 1-year extension, but he could still possibly leave in the summer, even though we know mainly he has been our first choice right back. Now, mainly when he was young, he was mainly right winning, but the odd time, we have rotated him and we have put him on the left hand side, Ashley Young, as I currently said. In relation to Rojo as well, obviously, I think he's still injured. I think it did say he's returned back to training, but he's still not fully fit yet. Rojo, in my opinion, could leave in the summer, to make some space in that central defensive position, because obviously in relation to Marcus Rojo, I think his versatility is good. He is good there as a backup option if you need him, as I said, but he's had a lot of injuries since he's been a Man United player. He struggled there with his fitness regime as well, and he struggled to get a run of games under his belt, considering that he suffered a lot of injuries since being a Manchester United player. So I think he will leave in the summer as well, will Marcus Rojo. And same with Matteo Darmian as well. He's another player I think is going to leave in the summer, without a shadow of doubt. Can't even get into the team, Matteo Darmian, as we all currently know as well. Give you a bit of an update on David De Gea as well. Hopefully Manchester United somewhere along the line, can agree him a new long-term deal at the club. As reports are emerging out, Manchester United, of course, have been in negotiations, of course, of getting David De Gea a new long-term deal at the club. As we all clearly know, reports are suggesting out that it's been delayed at the moment, meaning that his current representative has delayed at the moment. His £350,000 a week contract is supposed to be signing. I think it's going to be a wage of around £350,000 a week. Reports do explain that Man United is still in negotiations of getting him a new long-term contract. Of course, we activated 12-month extension on his current contract last year, as we all know. So we activated that by a further year. But reportedly, Manchester United are considering offering him a current basic pay package of 90 million over 5 years. It mentions something like that, with a salary a week of around 350,000, or is it 365,000 pounds a week? It's something like that in the region anywhere. But I think he's set to commit his long-term future at Manchester United every day. So this means I think he's going to be the highest paid player in the Premier League, the best paid player in the Premier League, the best paid goalkeeper probably in world football, and of course I think all in all the 9th best paid player as well in world football. David De Gea, as currently said. Of course, but that David De Gea has now made 99 clean sheets in the Premier League. He has been a Manchester United he's been at Manchester United since 2011, so I think this is his 8th season now at Manchester United, or is it his 9th season or something like that. De Gea, he has made over 300 odd appearances in all competitions, as well as David De Gea as well. He's won the Club's Player of the Year 4 out of 5 seasons. He's won Smack Busby Player of the Year quite a few times, and of course he's won everything here in England as David De Gea as well. We know 4 years ago Real Madrid were on the brink of getting him, but Real Madrid didn't get him, as I currently said. But I think Manchester United is still in negotiations getting him a new long-term deal. But it does mention that this pay package of £90 million over 5 years he's currently going to be getting as part of this 5-year deal he's going to be signing, as it does currently mentioned in the current media. But as I did say, I've got a lot of confidence, that Manchester United are going to beat Liverpool on Sunday without a shadow of a doubt. I think we're going to win on Sunday. Liverpool, have played really, really well this season. They've invested money in the past couple of seasons. They were biggest spenders last summer as well, and they have got a really, really good team. But we've got a really, really good team as well, and we've got that quality up front, that can cause all sorts of problems for Liverpool's defence, as I said. But the defensively they're all right now. Liverpool, they've looked really, really sharp, defensively this season. Attacking, they've looked very, very good indeed. Klopp has done a good job at Liverpool, don't get me wrong, but he hasn't won out in terms of silverware. And I hate saying this as a Manchester United fan, but it's true, he has done a good job, but he hasn't won out in terms of silverware, and that's what, young Klopp is looking to achieve, in the future with Liverpool. But obviously, from their perspective, they really want to win the league this season. I don't want Liverpool to win the league because I'm a United fan, obviously, and I hate Liverpool. I don't want Man City to win the league because obviously I hate them as well. But obviously, it's obviously going to be more than likely it's going to be obviously Man City or Liverpool that are going to win it anywhere, as we all clearly know. But I hate Man City, I hate Liverpool. I don't want either of them to win it. I'd rather Tottenham win it, as I couldn't say, because it'd be good for football, as I said. But I can't see, Tottenham winning it, to be quite honest with you. But they are still in there with a shout. But as I did currently say, if you saw my last video earlier on, I did give you an update on what was going on with Chelsea, as we all currently know, because as we all know, Maurizio Sarri is under immense pressure at Chelsea, considering, their recent bad run of results. Chelsea, as I currently said, Maurizio Sarri, it's only his first season as Chelsea manager, as we all currently know, is Maurizio Sarri's. Obviously, he's got a different philosophy, Maurizio Sarri. Obviously, hasn't got that winning formula, and he hasn't got, that winning pedigree, especially, in terms of winning silver, Maurizio Sarri. He's obviously his system worked at Napoli, but as I did currently say, Chelsea are in trouble at the moment, because obviously, Chelsea are in trouble at the moment because obviously they've been on a bad run of form, especially away from home. They've been bad this season, losing at the Emirates 2-0 this season in the league, lost away at Tottenham 3-1, losing at Man City 6-0 away, losing at Bournemouth 4-0 away as well. Now they're knocked out of the FA Cup as well, so the pressure has been, the pressure has been mounting on Maurizio Sarri, as I said. Some Chelsea fans are still saying give him time. Some Chelsea fans are recommending him to leave the club, as I currently said. But it's only his first season. Earlier on in the season, Chelsea were playing really, really well under Maurizio Sarri. And obviously, they went 18 games unbeaten earlier on in the season. Did Chelsea, as I said. But as I did say, the reports coming out about it a couple of weeks ago, there was a narrative about it saying that it's more than likely Sarri will be sacked if Chelsea don't get top four this season. Obviously, get Champions League qualification for next season, or as I did currently say. So I think this was coming from Roman Abramovich, who was obviously the Chelsea owner, and obviously, of course, he is a billionaire, is Roman Abramovich, as I currently said. But Maurizio Sarri, as I currently said, hasn't won out in terms of silver, and I think if Chelsea don't win the Carabao Cup final on Sunday, he will be potentially sacked as Chelsea manager, and that will be a very, very short tenure indeed. Chelsea have got Tottenham coming up next. That's their next league game. They've got Malmo in the Europa League second leg tomorrow night as well. I think it is tomorrow night. Yes, it is tomorrow night. So yeah, the pressure is mounting up on Maurizio Sarri, and obviously Chelsea have sacked a lot of managers in a short period of time as well, as I've already discussed with you. Obviously, they sacked Conte, even though he won the Premier League and FA Cup with them. And he obviously, when he was a player, he won honours with Juventus. When he was managing Juventus, he won trophies with Juventus as well. They sacked Jose Mourinho, they sacked Villas-Boas, they sacked Avon Grant, they sacked Scarara. So they have sacked a lot of managers in a short period of time. So basically, Chelsea are a current sacking club, as I currently said. But the only chance they've got of silverware this season now is obviously either the Europa League or the Carabao, or winning, the Carabao Cup final on Sunday. And comparing, obviously, Sarri to Pep Guardiola, you can't compare him because Pep Guardiola's got, that winning formula. He's got that winning pedigree. As I currently said, he's won about 26 trophies, throughout his career. Obviously, won loads of trophies as a player himself. Won loads and loads of trophies now as a manager, as Pep Guardiola, as I said. Obviously, I know he's obviously invested a lot of money, as I currently said, and he's obviously emulating the football he did at Barcelona and Bayern Munich, and he has brought to Manchester City as Pep Guardiola, but he has invested a lot of money as Pep Guardiola, as I said. And obviously he's on another level, to Maurizio Sarri, because Pep Guardiola's won loads and loads of trophies. As I currently said, he's basically won everything, and of course he has invested a lot of money. More than half that money though has been spent at Manchester City, as I currently said. But I think City are going to have far too much for Chelsea on Sunday, in my opinion. But going from from their perspective, it's been reported in Sky Sports today, as we all currently know, that Chelsea are potentially identified identified a potential possible Maurizio Sarri replacement if he's sacked at as Chelsea manager. As reports do say, Chelsea have identified two top manager targets, and the names that have been mentioned has been Zinedine Zidane and Frank Lampard as well, who's currently the Derby manager as well. It did say Chelsea could consider appointing what's his name, Gianfranco Zola as their caretaker manager until the end of the season. So it did say Chelsea considering It did say Chelsea are considering appointing Gianfranco Zola as their caretaker manager until the end of the season, of course, until they find someone on a full-time basis. But reportedly, there's been talks today in the media. Chelsea have identified a possible replacement for Maurizio Sarri, and that's obviously Zinedine Zidane and Frank Lampard as well. And obviously, Frank Lampard, as currently said, he hasn't really got that managerial experience because obviously Frank Lampard's only just started he's only just started his managerial career, as we all know, because obviously he become Derby manager only at the start of the season. Did Frank Lampard, as I said. But in terms of a player, he's got a really, really good winning philosophy. He had a really, really good pedigree, especially in terms of winning silverware, because he knows everything about Chelsea. Does Frank Lampard? He knows the culture of the club. Because he was a long-serving player for Chelsea. I think he had 13, 14 years as a Chelsea player. Did Frank Lampard, as we all know. Obviously their all-time leading goal scorer as well, with 211 goals in all competitions for Chelsea during his 13, 14 years. Of course, he scored 147 Premier League goals for Chelsea. Well, overall, he scored 177 Premier League goals in the Premier League, but 147 of them came for Chelsea. Frank Lampard. Of course, I think he got about 102 assists in the Premier League as well. Did Frank Lampard. But as I did say, he served a lot of years at Chelsea, and I think Chelsea have identified him as a possible name. And I think it would be hard for him, to turn that job down. Frank Lampard, to quite honest with you, hasn't really got that managerial experience, but he's only just started managing at the start of this season with Derby County. And obviously, Frank Lampard, when he was a Chelsea player, I think he made over 500 appearances, did he, in all competitions. But when he left Chelsea, I think he had a spell with Man City. Then he had a spell with New York City as well. He actually began his career with West Ham, did Frank Lampard. But he was a long-serving player, for Chelsea as well. Scored loads of goals, broken records. Very, very good player indeed, Frank Lampard, as I currently said. So his name's reportedly being mentioned as well. But I think Chelsea's main priority target, is reportedly Zinedine Zidane. Now, reports have been coming out saying it's unlikely that Chelsea will get Zinedine Zidane, as I currently said, because obviously Zinedine Zidane has been managerless since the end of last season. But he did say on only one condition Zinedine Zidane may accept the job at Chelsea, and that's if they give him around the £200 million spending spree to spend this summer, or of course if Eden Hazard does stay at Stamford Bridge, as I currently said. But yeah, again, Zinedine Zidane got a really, really good winning pedigree, as I currently said, and he's got that winning philosophy. Zinedine Zidane, in terms of winning silver. Of course, he's never played or managed in the Premier League, Zinedine Zidane, but when he was Real Madrid manager, he won trophies with them. When he was a player with Juventus, he won trophies with them in his 5 years with Juventus. When he was Real Madrid player, he won trophies with them when he was a player. So yeah, he's well proven in that aspect, is Zinedine Zidane. Of course, sometime last year there was a narrative, obviously my club Man United, were linked with Zinedine Zidane as well. But yeah, Chelsea have identified him as their number one, but it's probably unlikely that Chelsea will get Zinedine Zidane anywhere. But he has been managerless since May. I think he was negotiating before with Zinedine Zidane about potentially, I think he was destined to come and manage in the Premier League, to get some experience of managing the Premier League. And he's known for, he's got a good pedigree. He's dealt with top players, as I said. And Real Madrid have had problems, since he stepped down as their manager. But Chelsea have identified as a possible replacement for Sarri, Zinedine Zidane and Frank Lampard have been mentioned. They've been put into the frame as well. But it did possibly say they could appoint Gianfranco Zola, as caretaker manager till the end of the season. Because obviously, as I said, he's the assistant manager at the moment. But Chelsea have got a lot of problems. As I currently said, I think players are going to leave them in the summer. Gary Cahill's been constantly left out of the squad. Maybe Willian could go in the summer. So they have got a few aging up players. David Luiz is yet to sign a new contract. Obviously, they want to get a replacement for Fabregas in the summer as well. The Chelsea. Of course, I think they still potentially need a fullback as well. It's likely Eden Hazard will leave in the summer as well. I think the only chance Chelsea have got of keeping Eden Hazard is if they do get the top four and get Champions League for next season. But I think he's intending to make the move to Real Madrid. Is Eden Hazard. It will cost Real Madrid around of course, £100 million to get him in. But he's grown and developed fantastically well as a Chelsea player. He's been at Chelsea since 2012. As Eden Hazard, this is his 7th season now with Chelsea, as we all know. Of course, he's won everything in English football, well proven in the Premier League now. He's made over 300 appearances, scored over 100 odd goals, and I still think he's the third best player in the Premier League. Behind Salah and Kevin De Bruyne as well. Is Eden Hazard, but mainly he's a mainly left winger. He can actually operate as an attacking mid. Before Higuain obviously arrived, he was playing in the false number 9 role. As we all currently know. As we all currently know, Eden Hazard is playing in a false number 9 position. He was playing in a false number 9 position, but since Higuain's arrived, he's playing in his favourite position now. Obviously, Chelsea in the process of being in negotiations of trying to get him a new contract, as we all know. I think Chelsea were willing to offer him around £300,000 a week. His current deal does end in next summer of 2020 as well, but there's been no progression in negotiations, as I currently said. So I think he's expected to tell Chelsea somewhere along the line that he does want to make the move to Real Madrid in the summer, Eden Hazard. So I think he's probably going to go in the summer. So as I said, if he does go Eden Hazard, Chelsea are obviously going to have to identify a replacement for him as well. So they have got a lot of problems indeed of Chelsea. So yeah, there's been a lot of talks going on today saying that Chelsea have been in internal discussions of whether to sack Sarri, and if they do sack Sarri, they've identified 2 top manager targets, and that's Zinedine Zidane and Frank Lampard, but also Gianfranco Zola has also been mentioned because he knows about the club, obviously, because he's the assistant manager of Chelsea, as I currently said. But the main part of this video is, we've been on 54 minutes now. I do expect Manchester United, to beat Liverpool on Sunday, as I currently said. Because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did currently say, he flourished under Ferguson for 11 years, hasn't really won out in terms of silver as a manager as yet, but I think if we can get some new additions into the club in the summer, and I think then we can be potentially, title contenders, for next season if we can get some new additions in to the club. Solskjaer did say a while back that it could take us a couple of years, to be up there challenging as I said, but we all aware that we do need signings in the summer, and when we get them signings, it's absolutely spot on, and then I do think we can be up there competing and winning trophies on a regular basis without a shadow of a doubt, as I currently said. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. The Man United Liverpool build up. When more things updates, obviously the preview will be coming up. As I did currently say, the preview will be coming up for that. Probably what day is it today? Wednesday. Coming up probably late Thursday. It will be, if it's not Thursday, it will be Friday. The preview will be coming up as well. So anyway, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do